Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the automation station here with the PeakBot team. I am your co-founder and co-host Dylan Del Rosso, joined by co-founder and co-host Ben. Ben, happy Friday. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Another summer Friday. No golf this afternoon.
What's that? Yeah.
We got to get out and hit the course more.
Who golfs anymore?
Especially a day like today. Listen, our president, Donald Trump, is meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska today. Bots are off. We should be chilling. We should be chilling whenever bots are off.
We should be, yeah. Well, but then we're just like, well, there's always more to be building, which we can't help ourselves. If we wanted to be on the course, we would be. But we're here. We're delivering value. We're automating strategies, and we're going to talk more about that and how the week went this week. So that's what we do on Fridays. We're going to recap everything. We're going to talk about our 3 next generation bots, okay? King Condor, Shorebo, and BenBot. We'll also mention our 4th strategy that's finding its way into the model portfolio, the wheel strategy. The wheel bot was our first options trading strategy, and it's the longest tenured one, and it's getting some updates. We're making it more of a next gen bot. There still will be a little bit of an element of man and machine. You will be still picking off of a watch list, but it is a much more refined watch list, going from about 150 to 200 stock ideas to 8, making things a lot more simple. We'll get into all that. But Ben, as people are joining here, we can also tell them that we'll be getting into trader trivia. We'll have some giveaways here today. We'll have a little bit of a fun fact and a did you know, and much more. So, in fact, you're in a live position right now for BenBot. Maybe at any point, Ben, if you feel as if you're going to
want to look at that first while we let people kind of find their way in?
Let's look at that. Let's do that.
All right, cool. I am going to switch my screen before I share it.
While you're pulling that up, for context, BenBot is and you can find this info at peakbot.com. Click on bots. It is our daily covered call strategy on IWM. Enters in the morning, sells a call at the money, and then adjustments are made throughout the day if needed. If needed, meaning IWM's price is decreasing and working against us for the most part. And hello, Doug. So what do you got here, Ben? What do we want to take a look at?
So I'm just going to show the current position. There we go. Switch it over to dark mode.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always nicer because when I've got the studio set up in here, it's dark, the bright screen in my face. You know how it goes. So here's the position that was set up today. Currently down about $110. So not a great day. We've only got 6 cents left of value on the 229 call that we sold as part of this covered call this morning. We own shares at 228.52. We see currently trading at 226.75. So right now, like I said, we are in a bit of a losing position. If we wanted to take a look at the chart, how are we moving today? So we got our shares at right around, 228.50. So our shares are up here. Our strike price is up here. And we just the market took a dump. Well, at least small caps did, basically right at the open. So we took a dump here, took a slight bounce, took another dump. Now we bounced up. Now we're kind of consolidated, wider range. What I'm seeing right now is higher lows from there to there. So from 30 minutes ago until now. If we see a break above 227.25, so if we see a break above this level, I'm gonna probably not make any adjustments until later today. I'm definitely going to make an adjustment before 3:30 because that's the time that Trump is scheduled to talk with Putin. I don't know what type of media coverage there will be. I don't want to have any exposure during that. So I'm going to watch for that level. I'm also going to watch the 226.50 level. So right around here, if we break below that, that'll probably be means for another adjustment. But regardless, there will have to be, in my opinion, some sort of adjustment today to collect some more premium and cut down that $110 loss a little bit. So it happens. Some days are losing days. We get more winners than we get losers. So far, we are up in the month of August. Not by much, but we'll cover all results in just a little bit. So as of right now, I don't think I'm going to make any adjustments. The only thing that I might consider doing while we are live here is if the value of this spread goes down to like 3 or 4, or sorry, this call contract goes down to like 3 or 4 cents, I might just close that out, because that contract is only going to increase in value if IWM prices increase as well. And then that's going to negate any of that gain that I have on those shares. So it's, tough situation today, but we will see what the market does within the next half hour or so.
It's a bullish strategy. It's zero DTE, bullish strategy. When IWM price is going to work against us, it's going to be very hard to pull out. I shouldn't say very hard to pull out a win, but makes it more difficult, and you got to get above that price of your initial sold call there. So, yeah, as Ben mentioned, right now, prior to today, BenBot's up, call it 0.8%, nearly 1% on the month. And we'll dive all into that a little bit later and give you the visuals and everything and where to find our results, which I'll just tell you now is peakbot.com/strategy. I saw it and I had to click it.
What's really weird? I have the media panel pulled up right now. Yeah. I saw that. I was like, wow, you know what? We haven't played that in a while. And then you just played it for no reason.
Look, Ben, we've known each other for quite some time. We've worked together for quite some time. We know how to fill the void, fill the gap.
I guess.
All right. So IWM, maybe some adjustments coming. We'll see how the rest of the afternoon goes. Right now looks like a smaller loss on the day. But again, keep in mind, those adjustments that are being made in the afternoon, if and when necessary, are saving us from a larger loss. We're collecting premium on the way down, selling a lower strike, a lower call along the way. So like yesterday, Ben, it was a $35 loss.
Yeah,
if we looked at IWM's chart yesterday, I bet it would indicate and show that the loss could have been much greater than 15. Depending upon the action of the stock that day, but I'm sorry, greater than $35. But anyway, so that's BenBot, active position now. It is the strategy in which we here at the PeakBot team like to build our model portfolio around. It has the lowest drawdowns. Ben, that 2.8% drawdown, I think, is still the largest drawdown we've seen since you've been trading that strategy from March. All right. Yep. Trades pretty much every day. We're looking at about, I'd say the now monthly return on average is closer to 2.7%, as opposed to some of the numbers we would put out previously, but that's just due to the nature of the market recently. Okay, so that's BenBot. Why don't we do some trader trivia?
Let's do trader trivia.
Look at, see, you forgot, but I didn't.
I didn't forget. I was just waiting for you.
Okay. So we'll get some trader trivia going, an opportunity to get free PeakBot, access to all of our automated strategies under one subscription. Okay. And you'll do this by emailing us your answer to experience@peakbot.com. Go for it, Ben.
All right. So the question today is, which famous snack company's stock price famously surged after the Great Depression? So old company, because people kept buying its 5-cent treat. Was it A, Hershey's, B, Coca-Cola, C, Nabisco, or D, Campbell's Soup? So if you think you know the answer to this, email us at experience@peakbot.com with that answer. For new subscribers only, if you get it right, you're going to get 1 free month of PeakBot, so you can try our bots out for free and trade some of these companies.
All right, so this is throwing me off a little bit here, right? Because the question, the way it's worded, like, I'll turn the volume up a little bit here for us. I'm not thinking Coca-Cola is a snack company, although I think the conglomerate likely owns a ton of snacks, right? I'm not. Maybe we've even talked about this before with Mark and stocks in real life. I feel like they own a ton of stuff. I'm not thinking Campbell's Soup as a snack company, but again, Campbell's probably owns a ton of snacks and has for a while. Nabisco and I want to go Hershey's. I'm thinking Hershey's Kisses, but then I'm thinking, back then, the Great Depression, you better not be selling a single Hershey's Kiss for 5 cents. That's a ripoff. So I don't know. I don't know how long, if Nabisco's been around long enough for that. This is my thought process. I don't know if I'm helping or hurting the viewer trying to win some free PeakBot here, but
so let's see if the Did You Know could lend any hints or just make things even more confusing.
Okay.
So from 1886 to 1959, Coca-Cola cost just 5 cents a bottle, and they didn't raise that price for 70 years. So I'll read the rest. The company chose to keep it because of a quirky business decision. 1899, 2 lawyers brought the exclusive rights to bottle Coca-Cola forever. So 2 lawyers bought it for a fixed fee. And to protect that deal, Coca-Cola signed advertising contracts promising 5 cents a bottle, which made it impossible to raise those prices without breaking the marketing promise. That's like, it's so. I went to Ireland a couple years ago to the Guinness factory, or Guinness brewery, and the land that they're on was leased out for $1, and it's in the middle of Dublin. So there's like this huge plot of land, all these buildings. They're paying $1 a year for that. I think it's a year. It might be a month. I think it's a year, but they're paying $1 for that, and it's like a 100-year lease. It's crazy.
That is the deal of the century. So, we obviously state that GPT throws these together for us, and we just kind of, it's now our shtick. We like it just coming out, because obviously you'd think that this is what it's talking about. And if it's true, if the answer is Coca-Cola, I don't like the way in which it phrased the question. It's not a snack company. Sure, maybe it's a treat, bottle of Coke, but what's the answer?
You're going to be disappointed.
What answer?
It is Coca-Cola.
All right.
Because people can still afford a small treat, and that steady demand helped Coca-Cola's stock price outperform during the Great Depression.
Okay. All right. GPT has done so well for us as a business here with PeakBot. We just refuse. This has got to be running on like GP 2.0. We're over here on GPT-5, making strategies and coming up with marketing plans. Meanwhile, our trader trivia, and Did You Know, it's funny. Now it's funny and it's the bit. So we're going to stick with it. Hopefully you answered B, Coca-Cola, and won yourself a free month of PeakBot Pro, access to all of our strategies, in which we're going to start diving into how they did this week. So let's first go, Ben, I think we just go high level. Let's give the people what they want. Let's show them the 3 results calendars.
Yep.
And then let's get into the trades. All right. So Give me a second. I'm going to pull all this up here for us. We're going to start with BenBot, because we were just talking about it. I want everybody to see how it's performing here so far this month. All right. So let's try to see if we can make this a little bit bigger. All right, so this is the corner that we're all interested in right down here for the month. The bot is currently up about 0.78%, $180. Although today we're in a position that I think Ben mentioned about a net loss, at least live, was around 110. So we'll see how much that shakes out today.
It'll be less than a 110 loss, I'm assuming, unless we completely just fall out. And if price keeps recovering, we might actually pull out a win today. Okay.
Well, let's hope for less consolidation, more upward movement, and see what we can do. So just as a reminder, though, we said about 2.5% on average. Here's the history behind BenBot. Okay. In March, again, this is a daily covered call strategy on IWM with adjustments made if needed. 4.1%, 3.3%, 6%, 1.5%. First losing month was last month in July, only lost 1.3%, only $300. And again, this month up in the green here. So again, 2.5% per month is a beautiful result at the end of the year. And this is why we like to put more of our cash, not financial advice, just us internally at PeakBot. We build more of our portfolio and allocate more capital to this from a percentage standpoint than our other strategies like King Condor and Shorebow. BenBot, the wheel, which we'll talk about in a minute, are more so investment strategies, trading with the market, long term with short term action. All right, so that's BenBot. More information available on our website. We talked about the trade. There's nothing else outstanding from this past week, let's call it, Ben, other than on the days in which IWM's price moved against us, you and the bot were able to really limit our losses. $9 loss on Monday, 35 yesterday. I mean, yes, of course we're winning, and that's people just want and expect the bot to always win. So we don't spend time on why it won, when it won, but these are really nice saves here. This week compared to last week.
I was definitely happy with those. Hoping we could get a nice save in today as well. We do need price to come up a bit. Been considering buying the 226 put, although given the time left in the market, it doesn't make much sense now. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'm not going to make any decisions just because we're live,
That's right. We wouldn't want that. Let's talk about King Condor. Let's talk about King Condor. All right. So 1 DTE SPX bot. Okay. If the criteria is met, meaning if VIX is in line, if there's no crazy scheduled economic events, which there is today, Donnie and Vlad in Alaska. I didn't know it was in Alaska. I mean, what's the intention behind that?
Yeah, close to Russia.
But it's still here.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's make it remote. Make it very hard for press. I don't know. Anyway, so here's the net. It's down about 4% this month right now. Okay, 3.9% off of the $10,000 preset budget that we put behind the strategy. Okay, that's not the amount of cash that's being utilized day to day. It's only roughly about 10% of that cash. All right, so it's only $1,000 cash needed per trade. However, okay, we put 10K behind it to help with minimized drawdowns, and that's how the strategy was back tested and should be traded, not financial advice, to help properly weigh your portfolio. So we could see this week only traded once, and we took the win. It was a partial win yesterday for $150 per unit. Okay, not trading, or Ben, it didn't enter yesterday because of, was it VIX or an economic event?
Economic events. So Trump was speaking and signing executive orders yesterday, and then there was the meeting with Putin today, which would have affected the entry from yesterday would have been affected from. Economic events.
Gotcha.
Political events.
Yep. We didn't have anything going into the weekend, expiring Monday or Tuesday. Again, we won't need to go through it, but it either didn't trade because VIX was too high or too low, or there were scheduled economic/political events. Ben, if we were to look at this, we won't do this now, but if we were to look at this, I bet that we're worse off this week if we had traded through all 5 opportunities. Don't quote me on that, but generally speaking, that tends to be the case. But anyway, King Condor is coming off a bit of a slide in July. We're talking about nearly a 10% drawdown just in July alone. However, if we take into consideration going back from the end of June, from one of our higher highs to now, we saw roughly about yesterday's loss helped a little bit, but we're in about a 15 to a 20% drawdown right now. But coming out of it, when we see rough months like this in the past, we typically walk into super awesome months. But again, every day is a spin of the roulette wheel here in this new market we've got. So King Condor, hopefully on the mend here a little bit. All right. If there's any questions or comments on King Condor, let us know. If you're sitting here licking your wounds because all you've been trading is King Condor, get diversified. Do I have to say not financial advice after that? Might as well.
Probably, yeah.
Not financial advice. So, look, BenBot investment strategy, 2.5% a month. King Condor is more so trading. We're rolling the dice here. We're looking for neutral range bound markets. It's been nothing but that intraday as of late. All right. And now let's talk about Shorebo. Okay. So Shorebo, we've got a great stretch going here. Okay. So coming out of June, we were hot. Okay. It was a little dicey in the beginning of June. Coming out of June, we got really hot. Okay. Into July, great month in July. We can see it traded slightly less than it would usually. It takes about 16 trades a month on average with about 21 trading days. Exited up $700 per unit. That's a 7% return. It's the same 10K preset budget as King Condor. Okay. So what we lost on King Condor, we've made up for and some. I think, Ben, we're in the zone of Shorebo gains have completely wiped out King Condor losses since the end of June if you're trading both.
Yep.
Okay. Coming out of Wednesday, we had a double win on King Condor. Is that right?
That was nice.
I'm sorry, on Shorebo.
Really nice. Yeah, on Shorebo.
So what was the initial direction was bearish. I think we broke down and then reversed, broke north of orb prior to noon.
No, we broke
north and then south. We can look, but
yeah, I forget. I think we broke north and then south.
Okay.
Then we recovered and fell right between the strikes.
Yep. Creating a double win scenario. Love that. Okay. So in August already, Shorebo's up $540. Call it 5.4% on the portfolio allotted. So yeah, really good stretch here for Shorebo. No trades today due to the political events that we've already been discussing. We'll see how next week goes. So look, I'm not ignoring the 2 losses it had, right? I mean, we did have 2 losses earlier in the week. We are net red on the week, but boy, it was kind of due. I hate to say that, but I mean, we were on like a 8 or so 1, 2, 3 coming out of July.
I think on last Friday's show, you and I were both saying like, yeah, we don't know if we should keep trading, and then bam, on Monday, $420 loss.
610%, 6% in 2 days. But good recovery here, still very good on the month, and we'll see how it continues to go for Shorebo. So that's, if we look for let's do for the week here, Ben, if you're trading all 3. So keep note of this, up 115 pending today's position. We won't count it yet. For King Condor, we're up 150 on the week, and we are down 325 on Shorebo. So I think that's going to put us in a little bit on the net red.
Yep, net red.
But day's not over. We got, again, King Condor, Shorebo not in today, but overall on the month. Sorry to keep going back and forth and doing this, right? Just trying to find a good way to spin it now. Up almost $200 on BenBot, down almost $400 on King Condor, but up $540 on Shorebo for the month. So net over the month of August, we are looking good.
600 plus a little over 600.
So we're green. We're in the green if you've been trading all 3 in August. So, all right, happy to see that. Let's do this. Let's talk about some wheel updates. All right. So for those of you who have been around the block, been with PeakBot for a little while, you will know that I also mentioned this earlier in the show, but you'll know that the wheel was our first option selling strategy. And we've made updates to it along the way, probably 3-4 times, if not more. We've got another one coming. We want to make it easier, right? These new strategies, the ones in which we've just talked about, they completely eliminate the decision-making. I shouldn't say completely eliminate, but when it comes to the execution of the trade, it eliminates the decisions for you, the retail trader. You don't have to pick off of a watch list. You don't have to determine when or when it does not trade. We want to try to work the wheel more toward that, but it's going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but pretty tough to completely eliminate the watch list down to 1. It actually benefits the strategy to have multiple selections available. I'm going to pull up the list now, Ben, but we've shrunk it down to 8 indices / ETFs. Okay. So we're talking high liquidity, a lot of volume behind these tickers, generally speaking, bullish long-term trading strategies, which is why they're a good fit for the wheel. I'm pulling this up now. Give me a second and we'll see what we can find. All right. Hold on. Apologies. But it's SPY, QQQ. Ben, how many can you rattle off the top of your head right now?
SPY, Qs, IWM, GLD, SLV, TLT, IBIT, and then there's GDX.
I think that's it.
Was that 8?
Yeah. Here they are. SPY, Qs, IWM, TLT, IBIT, Gold, Silver, and GDX. Those will be the 8 names available. Right now, we're making these changes over the weekend, over the next week. We're testing some things, but this is our list right now for stocks in which you can wheel. Now, how's our wheel set up? Monday to Friday. It's a 4DTE strategy. If you do not own 100 shares or multiples of 100 shares of these stocks, you'll be selling a put credit spread. All right. You'll be collecting a premium. We're going to be adjusting the delta for the sold put when we come in. So right now we're selling the 30, buying the 10. We're going to be making an adjustment. We're going to be upping the delta. So it's going to be moving from 30 to 35, which essentially, yes, love that, Doug, which essentially means if we're raising the delta, you're going to be collecting more premium on the trade entry. Also, your likeliness of getting assigned shares goes up slightly. Okay. We want to start to regularize. Whoa. How do you say that?
I think you made that word up.
Regularize? Is that a fake word?
Regularize?
I feel like I only mentally pulled that because that was in the message in which you sent in Slack when we're talking about it. All right. We want to normalize. That helps.
A word. Regularize. Regularize is a word.
It is a word? It shouldn't be. We should strike it from the record.
The dictionary.com use it in a sentence is an electrical implant to regularize the heartbeat.
Regularize. That's a tough one. So, all right. So we move the delta up. This normalizes or regularizes the idea of owning shares. That's okay, right? That's part of the strategy. We want to own these shares because if we're getting assigned, it means we're getting assigned at a discount, okay? The stock had dropped. We're owning the shares and selling a call against it. All right, so that's the one part. Collecting more premium by upping the delta, making our odds of getting assigned shares at the end of the week, Friday, a little bit higher. Now, when assigned shares, which now technically, Ben, would be about 35% of the time.
Yeah, 65-ish percent win rate, 60 to 65 win rate. So, yeah, assigned 35 to 40% of the time. And
it's even lower because we have that bought put there. So really, if it goes that south, we're actually not taking the shares. So let's talk about getting assigned now more so like 25, 30% of the time, generally speaking. Here's the beauty. Once assigned, right now the way it is it's just going back to the pre-selected delta, selling the 30 call, buying the 10 put. Okay. However, we're going to make an adjustment to where if you get assigned shares, your sold call strike will now match the strike at which you got assigned. Okay. Your assignment price. Here's an example. If you're wheeling SPY and you get assigned at or Qs and you get assigned at, what's Qs trading at, Ben? I don't know, 5 something.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just say you get assigned Qs at 500. I know that's not exactly where the price is. But if you get assigned 100 shares of the Qs at $500 a share, now once assigned, instead of grabbing a sold call that could potentially be lower than your current assignment price, ending up in a result where you sell the shares for less than you bought them for, we're eliminating that. So we will then be if you get assigned at 500, next Monday, your sold call strike is going to match that $500 strike. You're going to collect whatever premium comes with it. We're going to keep that 10, the protective put at the 10 delta. But what this does is, it is virtually, Ben, this is dicey wording maybe, but if we think about it long term, it kind of eliminates losses. At least if if the stock ever was to recover, okay, which is why we're generalizing and finding these highly liquid, high volume index and ETF stocks. what it does is if you get assigned the shares, they will not get sold unless it's at the price in which you bought them for. Meaning the whole
or unless price falls out and that protective put has to kick in.
True. Okay. I take
Like
it back. Not a full bulletproof scenario. You're absolutely right. They can get sold by the protective put if assigned. Likeliness of that, roughly 10% per every, week in which you're doing that. Okay. So that is very possible. If that doesn't happen, it'll get sold at the price in which you bought them for while collecting premium the whole time, which ideally then gives you a net green, a net gain scenario.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this plays out, because I am curious to see what the week over week premium would be in the case that you do get assigned and you're a lot lower than your strike price, because your calls aren't going to be as, you're not going to earn as much on that premium. So we're gonna see. There's no really good back testing software for the wheel strategy. It's tough. It's tough to get that type of information. But based on what we've modeled out, it looks like this is a solid update to make for the wheel strategy. And again, eliminating a lot of the decision making by shortening that watch list. Does require a bit more capital, but it's in my opinion worth it in the long run to make this update.
Absolutely. And again, we know this, right? Because we know the retail trader, at least our audience, pretty well by now. We know that a lot of you are going to go to the site and see the returns and the average, trade volume and everything else of our other strategies. And the wheel is the least exciting of all of our strategies, right? But the least exciting stuff is typically the stuff that gets you where you want to be long term, right? The tortoise and the hare, right? Like it's kind of the wheel, right? We're just slow and steady. So you're not going to see it. You're probably going to only start trading unless you love the wheel strategy. Maybe 100K portfolios, right? Because you can allocate the rest of our strategies pretty appropriately until you're getting about that much cash. So awesome. Ben, what else, if anything? We got some partner bots that have been doing very well. If you want more information on our partner bots, head on over to our Linktree, linktree.com/usepeakbot. You can see that on the screen below me here. We've got Jovan at JR28 Trading off to a fantastic start over the last few weeks. We've got Squeeze, Squeeze Finder. Obviously, the market pullback shows a little less activity than we would see normally, but there's still some great winners. Ben, I think you're in one right now for like 33% or something like that.
Yeah, I got out this morning, but yep.
Nice, great exit. We love that. So PeakBot's got about 20 to 30 different strategies on the market at any given time between ourselves and our partners. So if you have any questions on what type of automated strategy would be a fit for me, reach out. All right. Shoot us an email at experience@peakbot.com or use the chat support feature on our website, peakbot.com. And I think that's it, Ben.
Cool. Let's wrap it up.
Let's get out of here. We will be back Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern for Man and Machine to talk about the week to come and any updates there. And we're moving this. We're moving this show. Don't get too scared. We're just moving it back 5 minutes. We're going to noon Eastern. So this 11:55 crap that we've been doing for a while was because we were entering trades right at noon. We're not entering trades right at noon anymore. We'll see you at noon Eastern. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at the peak. Take care.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.